The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town, a looming silhouette against the perpetually gray sky. It had always felt different. Even as a child, I sensed an unease, a prickling at the back of my neck that had nothing to do with the drafts that constantly snaked through its ancient, decaying timbers. What would you do if you were me? A child surrounded by the unsettling silence of that place. The house itself was a Victorian monstrosity, all gables and shadowed eaves. The paint peeled like sunburnt skin, revealing layers of faded colors beneath, hints of vibrant blues and yellows, long since swallowed by the relentless march of time and neglect. The air hung heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying wood, a smell that clung to your clothes, your hair, your very skin long after you'd left. I remember the cold, the persistent chill that seemed to emanate from the very stones themselves, a biting cold that no amount of blankets or roaring fires could ever truly dispel. Even in summer, a creeping frost seemed to linger in the shadowed corners. My earliest memories are a blur of creaking floorboards, whispering drafts, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. The shadows seemed to stretch and writhe, playing tricks on my eyes, morphing into fleeting shapes that vanished before I could fully grasp them. A distant, echoing whisper would sometimes drift from the empty rooms, a sound so faint it was almost imperceptible, yet enough to send shivers down my spine. Do these sounds seem familiar to you? Perhaps you've experienced something similar. One particular incident stands out. I was around 7, playing in the attic, a cavernous space filled with dusty furniture draped in cobwebs, the air thick with the scent of forgotten things. Suddenly, a cold draft swept through the room, extinguishing the flickering candle I'd been using. I remember the darkness descending, heavy and absolute, punctuated only by the frantic thumping of my own heart. Then, I heard it, a scratching sound, slow and deliberate, coming from somewhere within the walls. It was a sound that burrowed its way into your very soul, a sound that spoke of something ancient, something malevolent. My breath caught in my throat. I scrambled down from the attic, the darkness clinging to me like a shroud. The house seemed to hum with unseen energies. Objects would move on their own, books falling from shelves, drawers opening and slamming shut. Pictures would shift on the walls, their faces seeming to watch me, their eyes following my every move. It was subtle at first, almost imperceptible, enough to make you question your own sanity. But it grew steadily worse, the occurrences becoming more frequent, more blatant, more terrifying. One night, I woke to the sound of frantic scratching at my bedroom window. The wind howled outside, rattling the panes, but this was different. This was deliberate, insistent, like something was trying to get in. I pulled the covers tighter, my heart pounding in my chest, the cold seeping into the very bones of my body. The scratching continued, growing louder, more insistent, until it abruptly stopped. The silence that followed was even more terrifying. A heavy, suffocating silence that pressed down on me, leaving me breathless and terrified. Over the years, We learned things about the house's past. We learned about the tragic deaths, the unexplained disappearances, the whispers of rituals performed in the shadowed corners of the old house. We learned something about this house's past that chilled us to the core. We learned that this wasn't just an old house, it was a repository of sorrow, a place where the veil between worlds seemed exceptionally thin. My parents, initially skeptical, gradually became convinced that something wasn't right. They tried everything: priests, psychics, even paranormal investigators. But nothing seemed to work. The house remained a place of unease, a constant reminder of the unseen forces that seemed to inhabit its decaying walls. The disturbances continued, growing more intense, more frequent, until finally we had to leave. Leaving wasn't easy. The house had become a part of me, its shadows etched into my very being. Even now, years later, I still dream of it: the cold, the darkness, the whispering drafts, the scratching at the windows. The memories are vivid, as real as if I were still there, trapped in its unsettling embrace. I can still feel the chill, the oppressive weight of the unseen, the constant feeling of being watched. The sounds still echo in my mind: the creaking floorboards, the rustling curtains, the distant whispers. And sometimes, in the dead of night, I still hear it, the scratching. A faint, almost imperceptible scratching, coming from somewhere just beyond my reach. What would you do if you found yourself in a situation like mine? If you were faced with the inexplicable, the chilling, the truly terrifying? Would you stay and face the darkness, or would you run? Would you try to understand the source of the disturbances, or would you simply accept the unseen forces at work? These are questions I grapple with to this day. The house remains a silent testament to the unseen forces that dwell within. It stands on that hill, a dark silhouette against the perpetually gray sky, a constant reminder of the things that lurk in the shadows, the things that whisper in the darkness, the things that can never truly be explained. And sometimes, when the wind howls just right, I think I can still hear it, the scratching. The experience left an indelible mark on me. It taught me about fear, about the limits of human understanding, and about the power of the unseen. It also taught me the importance of paying attention to the subtle signs, the little things that most people overlook. Those subtle clues, those almost imperceptible shifts in the atmosphere, those are the things that often hold the key to understanding the truly strange and inexplicable. I often wonder about the others who have lived in that house, the ones who came before me. Did they experience the same things? Did they feel the same cold, hear the same whispers, witness the same unsettling movements? Did they, too, feel the oppressive weight of the unseen, the constant feeling of being watched? Did they, too, leave in the end, forever haunted by the memories of their time in that house? These are questions that remain unanswered, lingering in the shadows of my memory. Even now, I find myself drawn back to the house, drawn by a morbid curiosity, a need to understand what it was that made it so different, so unsettling, so profoundly haunted. It's a dangerous fascination, I know, a pull towards the inexplicable that could easily consume me. But the mystery remains, a siren call whispering on the wind, beckoning me back to the darkness from which I once escaped. And sometimes, in the quiet moments when the world is still and the air is heavy with unspoken secrets, I think I can still hear it, the scratching. A faint, almost imperceptible scratching, coming from somewhere just beyond my reach, a chilling reminder of the house on the hill and the mysteries it holds within its decaying walls. A mystery that continues to haunt me, even to this day. The house remains, a silent sentinel on the hill, a constant reminder of the power of the unknown, the unseen, and the things that go bump in the night. And I, forever marked by its chilling presence, continue to grapple with the memories, the fear, and the unanswered questions it left behind. The questions that continue to haunt me long after I've left its chilling embrace. The chilling, haunting embrace of my haunted childhood home.